becoming a Web3 developer in 2023. Um, it's not easy to get a job today. Uh, if you are thinking of becoming a Web3 developer in 2023 for a job, then I would advise you to don't think you will get hired because you won't. This is because it's not because Web3 doesn't have jobs. Yeah, they have jobs, but just not for new people right now. We are in a downturn of the economic cycle of crypto. And in this bear market, nobody hires new people. They just laid off a bunch of people, and it's like in tech companies during recessions. It's the same thing.
Cycle.
So there are only a few jobs, and it's for senior and top level executives usually, and it's not easy. So that's why I wanted to talk about this subject, because people just come to this space, start learning a little bit, and they hope to get a job, and they don't get a job, and they get discouraged and move away. Don't move away. Take this opportunity to show you what you can do in open source code. Okay? First, learn, and learn well. Okay? Don't go for boot camps or for if you pay me this, you will learn a bunch. Don't fall in that trap. Don't pay anyone, because there are a lot of good courses. Don't get me wrong, and there are a lot of good boot camps as well. But the probability of you knowing what is good and what is not is very little when you are starting. So probably you will fall in some funnel of some web strategy of someone to sell you the miracle thing to get a job in Web3 today, and that won't happen. Okay? Sorry to hurt your feelings, but it's not the way. So, what's my advice? Learn proper Web3 development. If you are more a front-end developer, you should learn, probably start with hi-hat and start learning Ethers.js, start playing around with that. There are a bunch of boilerplate code to start Web3 projects. Just go to GitHub and start and search for Web3 boilerplate or stuff like that. And start learning by experimenting. There is also Solidity by Example website, which gives you a lot of stuff to understand Solidity. Solidity is more back-end, but a decentralized application always has a front-end part and the back-end part, and the back-end is the blockchain code. It's the code that runs on blockchain. So usually that code are smart contracts, and the smart contracts are developed in Solidity, mainly in Ethereum and EVM compatible chains. So if you want to be a front-end developer, you have to be able to talk to smart contracts, and to talk to smart contracts, you should have a way to develop them just a little, just so that you can try it out. So I would put less effort learning Solidity. I would advise you to use some examples from solidity by example and remix, and you're good to go, right?
Yeah,
And
so you should start thinking on starting to build a portfolio that you can actually show somebody when you are going to an interview. And the thing is, start small, start with basic examples, and then you can just put your small projects in GitHub, and you will start to grow your GitHub account.
yeah,
So in with time, as you try some projects that you see, some tutorials that you see, you just post it on GitHub, and and you grow your portfolio. Then you will start increasing your difficulty of the project, and maybe you start getting ideas. Maybe you start to try to figure out how to do certain things. And then you will go and find out how to do those things, and then you put it again on your GitHub account, and your portfolio just grows. And if you understand what you're doing in your portfolio, you can go to an interview and actually show, well, I have this portfolio. Feel free to ask me any questions you want about it.
yeah.
And yeah, you have a really higher chance to get hired.
But I really think that before the interview, uh, after that process of learning and getting used to the decentralized way of doing things, um, I would suggest to build something and
Yeah,
deploy it on a test net, or on and after deploying on a test net, deploy on layer 2. You
yeah,
pay a little
yeah.
money,
That
and you, but it's a completely different experience, working on your local machine and being able to deploy code to an independent test net, and even more uh, hardcore experience to deploy on a main net, even on a layer 2.
Yeah, and
uh,
that's where I was getting. As you are growing your GitHub account with smaller projects, you will eventually start to get ideas and try to figure out some problem, and
yeah,
that's where you are going to really gain experience on develop this kind of stuff. Of course, I do advise, as Pedro was saying, deploy that. Just deploy that, even if it's buggy or not really working. Just deploy it. It's an experience, and it's something that you have out there.
yeah. And then launch your own project. If you have one idea, it can be good, it can be more or less, uh, it can be very small. Don't worry, launch it. You will learn a ton with
Yeah,
that. Launch something, even if it's just a page that where people can do something. I don't know, your idea. Launch it. So you get to learn, you get to deploy, you get to deploy on mainnet, and you get to launch your own thing. You've done the entire uh,
yeah, the whole
circle.
cycle. Yeah,
And this is very important for you to understand the whole process, and you will have a ton of interesting things to discover, and failures probably. But the faster you fail, the faster you move on, right? And that's the way you learn. You learn from your failures, not from your successes.
yeah,
So uh, that's the first step. I think it's to learn properly and to uh, exercise this deployment, really, uh, for you to learn new things, because you will get probably a lot of information from that. And then what I would advise you to, instead of sending CVs telling you are the best Web3 developer of the planet, uh, don't worry about that, because you won't get interviews. So get to GitHub, start connecting with the community, start finding projects that drive you, and start contributing. Start small. Don't expect to go to the project and start implementing smart contracts right away. Um, you will probably will mess up and send bad code. But start doing the help wanted issues for some projects.
Yeah, usually
They usually
they have.
mark issues with help wanted
Yeah,
or first issue or stuff like that, so that people can contribute. Find those projects, find something that really drives you, that you feel you are contributing to something useful, and uh, do that.
yeah, and usually those projects have or Discord or Telegram, and so that you can reach them. So you can also reach us. By the way, you can also reach us
Yeah,
on the links below to us. So please send us messages with the questions,
yeah, and if we can, we will help you out with some ideas.
and
And
don't forget to smash that like button, please. So as I was saying,
before
just
before sending the questions, because if you
yeah,
didn't like the
yeah,
video,
we will ignore you. So as I was saying, those teams usually have a Discord or a Telegram, so you can get to them and ask them how you can help them, and they will guide you for sure, because they will mostly for sure will need help, so they will enjoy you reaching them and offering your hands
yeah,
to
and
do,
you
to do something
usually
useful.
usually when you join a project, the first thing that you usually can do right away is write documentation, for instance.
Yes.
Don't feel bad about that. You will learn a lot,
Oh yeah.
and by
I think it's actually the easiest way to learn. It's to write
yeah,
documentation for the code that you're seeing.
and just by joining the meetings of the project, you will learn a bunch.
Yeah.
And that's the first step, I think. Right now everybody is building, everybody is really in a hurry to build everything they want before the bull run begins,
Yeah.
because when the bull run begins, nobody will be able to develop, because there will be a flood of people using everything, and there will be a lot of requests and supports and problems, and uh, problems with scalability of things, and
Yeah.
blah blah blah, that prevents people from building, because there's too much distraction. We've been around for 2 cycles and something already, and it happens all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
uh, don't be trapped on that idea that right now is not the perfect time to uh, join the market, or don't get discouraged because there are no jobs. You don't need a job, okay? You need to be a good developer and to contribute, and a job will come later, right? In this time, you can learn and you can join projects, open source projects, and build your contributions portfolio, which is one of the biggest things. Whenever I am higher, I am in a higher process. For I am a contractor, so I don't get jobs, but I get projects. And whenever they are chatting with me about the project, the first thing that they ask is a GitHub and contributions to open source. And since I have a bunch, they usually call me, right? And that's one of the main things. And uh, and if you do this right, I can assure you will get a job, and a very good job, when the bull run starts.
Yeah.
But don't expect one before that.
Yeah.
So
Right now they are just scanning the markets. So
even
And,
even
and,
the
and it's this cycle. So during the bull run, they just hire a lot of people. Then when the economy contracts, they will lay off a lot of people. They keep the best, but at the meantime, these guys that were laid off, they gain the experience. They will probably evolve, and on the next bull run, they will hire again, and then they will lay off and keep the best ones.
yeah,
So it will always be like this. It's like on the real world economy, it's the same, right?
yeah,
So when you have these bubbles, when there's a lot of money, companies just hire a lot, then they just lay off and keep the best. So it's this cycle over and over again. And on crypto, it's the same. It's a different cycle because it happens on different timings, but it's the same. What happens is exactly the same.
yeah. So this is the what I think is the correct way to become a Web3 developer. You need, if you follow these steps, learning first, then starting your own projects and doing the entire process since uh, development to deployment to mainnet to test it out and so on. Probably get hacked
Don't
in the
forget,
way
don't forget
and
tests.
stuff like that.
Don't forget to test your code. It's very important to show that you are focused and you are committed to test the shit you do.
Yeah,
So really don't forget about it, because when you are going to show something, I do my code, I do my testing, and I have all these guarantees that this is working. So this is good code.
yeah. Especially if you are going to the smart contract, to the backend part of it, because front end tests are important. Don't get me wrong, but they are less critical. Okay, uh, in to develop smart contracts, anything less than 100% code coverage is garbage.
Yeah.
It's like developing stuff uh, for space, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
if you
You
don't
have to
cover
double test it.
if you don't cover the entire code in testing, and if
Yeah.
you don't do multiple types of tests and fuzz tests and
Yeah,
all those,
edge testing, whatever testing you can
yeah,
come up with, it's
and
not good enough if you don't do it.
use tools like Slither and Mithril to
Yeah.
go through and then static analyze your code and try to figure out multiple common mistakes that lead to vulnerabilities and exploits, um, and so on. That is a must.
Well,
I am an auditor for several companies, and usually when I see a code base, when I'm starting an audit and I don't see configuration for Slither, that's the first thing I do in
yeah,
the code.
it's worth saying that there are websites that have common vulnerabilities that people develop on code. So apart from Slither, which is a really good tool, you should always be up to date to the vulnerabilities um, that keep coming up every time. So yeah, that's another thing that you should be all up to date.
And finally, the icing on top. When you feel good working in this space and you feel you are already a good developer or medium developer in this space, find a CTF. CTF is capture the flag. It's like a game, and there are plenty of those around, and mostly for backend developers, smart contract developers. Uh, I would advise you to do them all that you can find. Just go to Google and put Web3 CTF or smart contract CTF or whatever. There is one that is Ethernaut from Open Zeppelin, which is very nice. There are plenty of them. Just the easiest one, and it's more like a learning game that you can also do is crypto zombies, I
Crypto
think.
Zombies is really fun way to learn. Yeah.
Yeah, and then for more advanced stuff, just search around. Ethernaut, you can start with Ethernaut. It's a cool project. Well, the first time that I did that, because they are always evolving that, and I from time to time I go there. We must do that, Miguel. We must do Ethernaut live here.
Yeah.
In some episodes, I hope. So whenever I go there, I just spend like 2 or 3 days almost without sleep so that I can finish the entire thing. It's really crazy. I really love it, and we'll learn a bunch of that with those CTFs because they are just. If you enjoy this space and if you want to be a kick-ass blockchain developer, that's a must.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, this is how you become a blockchain developer nowadays. It's a lot different than today, 2 years ago, because of the bear market and all the changes in the market. Usually, when there's a bull run, you will get hired for a gazillion,
just for existing.
a gazillion of dollars. Just as much as you say, they pay. If you have the right background and if you've done what we said, I don't doubt that in 2024, 2025, you will get a gazillion dollars doing this shit if you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, but money comes after. Don't put that as your goal. Your goal should be a kick-ass Web3 developer, and then money comes.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it comes. Maybe it comes more than you can handle. Usually it's like that.
Yeah.
So these are the steps, man. Just learn, experiment, and help open source projects in the way. And you will get the results you want. I am pretty sure. It's not easy. It's hard. But if you join the movement for the right motivation, you will love it. You will love the process. And when the good times come, with hard training comes great results. So,
Indeed.
That's the way. So, hope this motivates you a little bit to join this space. And yeah, if you have any questions, if you want any help from us, reach us out on our social media. We have a Telegram channel just for DecentraWise. So join us there, ask around, say hi. Anything you need, just ping us. And yeah, if you got any value from this video, just do the usual. Press the like button only once. Click subscribe to get notified of other videos that we push.